Welcome children. Today we are going to learn divisibility rules. Divisibility rules. The rules are shortcuts for finding out whether numbers are exactly divisible without doing division calculations. First, we are going to see the divisibility rule for 2. If the last digit of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number will be divisible by 2. That means if the last digit ones place. It means ones place of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number will be divisible by 2. Let's see some examples. First one, 4854. Here the ones place, that is the last digit is 4. So 4854 is divisible by 2 because if the last digit of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number will be divisible by 2. So 4854 is divisible by 2. Second example, 8760. Here the last digit is 0. That means the ones place is 0. So 8760 is also divisible by 2. Divisibility rule 3. If the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 3, then the number is also divisible by 3. So it means if we add each digit and the sum is divisible by 3, then the number is also divisible by 3. Let's see an example. 34,15,821. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 3 or not. To check, we have to add each digit. So the sum of digits of 34,15,821 is 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1. So adding this, we get the sum 24, which is divisible by 3. So 34,15,821 is divisible by 3. Divisibility rule for the number 4. If the last two digits of the number is divisible by 4, then the number is divisible by 4. That means to check whether the number is divisible by 4 or not, we have to check the last two digits, that is ones place and tens place. If these two numbers are divisible by 4, then the number is divisible by 4. Let's see an example. 5,98,736. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 4 or not. So what we have to do, we have to check the last two digits. The last two digits is 36. So 36 is divisible by 4. Yes. So 5,98,736 is divisible by 4 because the last two digit is 36, which is divisible by 4. So 5,98,736 also divisible by 4. Divisibility rule for the number 5. If the last digit of the number is 0 or 5, then the number is divisible by 5. If the last digit, that means ones place, is 0 or 5, then the number will be divisible by 5. So let's see some examples. First one, 54,820. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 5. So for that, we have to check the ones place. That's the last digit. So here the last digit is 0. So 54,820 is divisible by 5. Second example, 2,405. Here the last digit is, that is ones place is 5. Hence 2,405 is divisible by 5 because if the last digit of the number is 0 or 5, then the number is divisible by 5. Divisibility rule for the number 6. If the number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then the number is divisible by 6. That means to check whether the number is divisible by 6, we have to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and 3. If it is divisible by 2 and 3, then the number is divisible by 6. So let's see an example. 4536. So we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 6. For that, we have to check whether this number is divisible by 2 and 3. So first we will check whether this number is divisible by 2. So what is the divisibility test for 2? If the ones digit of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, the number is divisible by 2. So here the ones place is 6. That is, the last digit is 6. So 4536 is divisible by 2. So now we are going to check whether the number is divisible by 3. For that, we have to add each digit. Sum of the digits of 4536 is, we are going to add each digit. 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6, which is equal to 18. 18 is divisible by 3. Therefore, 4536 is divisible by 3. Since 4536 is divisible by 2 and 3, it is divisible by 6 also. Divisibility rule for the number 7. Double the last digit and subtract it from a number made by the other digits. The result must be 0 or divisible by 7. Then the number is divisible by 7. That means we have to double the last digit, that means ones digit, and we have to subtract it from the number made by the other digits. So the result should be 0 or divisible by 7. If it is 0 or divisible by 7, then the number is divisible by 7. So let's see an example. So the first one, 413. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 7 or not. So we have to check the last digit and double it. So last digit, that's ones place is 3. We are going to double it. So 3 into 2, which is equal to 6. So now we are going to subtract this number from a number made by the other digits. So 41 minus 6, which is equal to 35. 35 is divisible by 7? Yes. So 35 is divisible by 7. Hence 413 is divisible by 7. So let's see another example. 84. So we are going to check whether this 84 is divisible by 7. So the ones place is 4, that is last digit. So we are going to double it. 4 into 2, which is equal to 8. And now we are going to subtract 8 minus 8, which is equal to 0. So 84 is divisible by 7. Hence 84 is divisible by 7. Divisibility rule for the number 8. A number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by its digits in the hundreds, tens and ones places is divisible by 8. So let's see an example. 3,72,552. So we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 8. So for that we have to check the last 3 digits, ones place, tens place and hundreds place. So 552. So last 3 digits 552 is divisible by 8. Hence 3,72,552 is divisible by 8. Divisibility rule for the number 9. If the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number is divisible by 9. That means if we add each digit, the sum should be divisible by 9. If it is divisible by 9, then the number is divisible by 9. So let's see an example. 4698. So the sum of digits of 4698 is equal to 4 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8, which is equal to 27. 27 is divisible by 9? Yes, 27 is divisible by 9. So 4698 is divisible by 9. Divisibility rule for the number 10. If the last digit of the number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. That means if the ones place, that is the last digit of the number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. Let's see an example. 8,94,250. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 10. For that, we have to check the last digit, that is ones place. Here 0 is the last digit. So last digit is 0, hence 8,94,250 is divisible by 10. Divisibility rule for the number 11. If the difference between the sum of digits of a number in odd places and the sum of its digits in even places starting from the ones place is either 0 or a multiple of 11, then the number is divisible by 11. So to find out whether the number is divisible by 11, first we have to find the sum of digits of number in odd places and sum of its digits in even places, and then we have to find out the difference between the sum, and then if the result is 0 or multiple of 11, then the number is divisible by 11. So let's see an example. 1,23,574. So we are going to find out whether this number is divisible by 11. For that, first we are going to find out the sum of digits of a number in odd places. So we have to start from ones place. So here ones place is 4. And next, the digit in odd place is 5. And the next one is 2. So sum of digits in odd places is equal to 4 plus 5 plus 2. So which is equal to 11. Next, we are going to find out the digits in even places. What are the digits in even places? 7. That is in tens place. And next one, thousands place 3. And then lakhs place 1. So the sum of digits in even places is equal to 7 plus 3 plus 1, which is equal to 11. So difference of the two sums is equal to 11 minus 11, which is equal to 0. So 1,23,574 is divisible by 11. More divisibility rules. If a number is divisible by another number, then it is divisible by each of the factors of that number. That means if the number is divisible by another number, that number will be divisible by its factors also. So let's see an example. 24. 24 is divisible by 8. So all the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. So 24 is divisible by each of 1, 2, 4 and 8. If a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then it is also divisible by their product. What is co-prime? Two numbers are said to be co-prime if they do not have a common factor other than 1. So if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then it is also divisible by their product. Let's see an example. 750. Here the ones place is 0. That is the last digit is 0. So if it is last digit is 0, then it is divisible by 2, because we know the divisibility rule of 2. If the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then it is divisible by 2. Therefore, 750 is divisible by 2. Next, 7 plus 5 plus 0 is equal to 12, which is divisible by 3. Therefore, 750 is divisible by 3. So, 750 is divisible by both 2 and 3. Since 2 and 3 are co-prime numbers, 750 must be divisible by their product, that is by 6. And we know that is true because 2 and 3 are co-prime numbers, and 2 into 3 is 6. We know that rule: if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then it is also divisible by their product, 6. And we know the divisibility rule for 6 also. If the number is divisible by 2 and 3, then the number is divisible by 6. Therefore, 750 is divisible by 6. If two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. That is, when two numbers are divisible by a number, if you add, you'll get a sum. That sum will also be divisible by that number. So let's see an example. Numbers 10 and 15 are divisible by 5. So their sum is equal to 10 plus 15, which is equal to 25, which is also divisible by 5. So if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. If two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. Example, numbers 25 and 15 both is divisible by 5. So their difference is equal to 25 minus 15, which is equal to 10, which is also divisible by 5. So if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their difference is also divisible by that number. Children, hope we all understood the divisibility rules. Let's move to the exercise sums. In exercise 3C, the first question is, using divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 2. So the question is, we have to find out whether the given number is divisible by 2 or not by divisibility test. So the first question is 6890. So we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. So what is the divisibility rule for 2? If the last digit of the number is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number will be divisible by 2. So here the last digit is 0. That is, the ones place is 0. Therefore, 6890 is divisible by 2. Second question, test the divisibility of the following numbers by 3. In that first question is 5,31,109. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 3. So what is the rule to test the divisibility? If the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So we are going to find out the sum of the digits. Sum of the digits is equal to 5 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 9, which is equal to 19, which is not divisible by 3. So 5,31,109 is not divisible by 3. Next question, using the divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 10. In that first question is 77,770. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 10 using the divisibility test. We know that if the last digit of the number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. In the given question, 77,770, the last digit, that is the ones place, is 0. Therefore, 77,770 is divisible by 10. Next question, using the divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 5. In that first question is 9,999. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 5 using the divisibility test. So we know that if the last digit of the number is 0 or 5, then the number is divisible by 5. Therefore, 9,999 is not divisible by 5 because the last digit, that is the ones place, is 9. Therefore, it is not divisible by 5. Next question, test the divisibility of the following numbers by 6. In that first question is 7,002. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 6 or not. So, what is the divisibility rule for 6? If the number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then the number is divisible by 6. So, we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. So, what is the divisibility rule for 2? If the ones place is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number is divisible by 2. Here the ones place is 2. That is the last digit is 2. So 7,002 is divisible by 2. Now we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 3. So divisibility rule for 3 is if the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 3, then the number will be divisible by 3. So sum of the digits is equal to 7 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2, which is equal to 9, which is divisible by 3. So 7,002 is divisible by 3. Since 7,002 is divisible by both 2 and 3, 7,002 is divisible by 6. Next question, test the divisibility of the following numbers by 9. In that first question is 8,521. So we are going to find out whether this number is divisible by 9 using the divisibility rule. So divisibility rule of number 9 is if the sum of digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number is divisible by 9. So we are going to find out the sum of digits of a number. The sum of digits of 8,521 is equal to 8 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 16, which is not divisible by 9. Therefore, 8,521 is not divisible by 9. Question, using the divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 4. In that first question is 88,880. We are going to find out whether this number is divisible by 4 using the divisibility test. So we know that if the last two digits of the number is divisible by 4, then the number is divisible by 4. So here last two digits, that is ones place and tens place, is 80. So the last two digits is 80, which is divisible by 4. Therefore, 88,880 is divisible by 4. Next question, using the divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 8. In that first question is 7,868. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 8 using the divisibility test. So we know the divisibility rule for the number 8. A number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by its digits in hundreds, tens and ones places is divisible by 8. So here in 7,868, the last three digits, that is ones place, tens place and hundreds place, are 868. So the last three digits is 868, which is not divisible by 8. Therefore, 7,868 is not divisible by 8. Next question, using the divisibility test, determine which of the following numbers are divisible by both 5 and 10. In that first question is 67,950. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by both 5 and 10 using the divisibility test.
So divisibility rule for number 5 is if the last digit of the number is 0 or 5, then the number is divisible by 5. And the divisibility rule for number 10 is if the last digit of the number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. And the given question, 67,950, the last digit, that is the ones place is 0. Hence, 67,950 is divisible by both 5 and 10. Next question, using the divisibility test to determine which of the following numbers are divisible by 11. And that first question is 9,559. We are going to check whether this number is divisible by 11 using the divisibility test. So, the divisibility rule for the number 11 is if the difference between the sum of digits of a number in odd places and the sum of its digits in even places is either 0 or a multiple of 11, then the number will be divisible by 11. So, the sum of digits in odd places is equal to, here in the odd places, the numbers are 9 and 5. So, we are going to add these two numbers. 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. The sum of digits in even places are 5 and 9. So, we are going to add these two numbers. 5 plus 9 is equal to 14. The difference between the sum is equal to 14 minus 14 is equal to 0. Therefore, 9,559 is divisible by 11.
Children, hope you all understood the exercise sums. Thank you. Take care.